Welcome dear students to English class. Class 12 section B. Today we'll read a poem. The name of the poem is The Road Not Taken, a very famous poem written by Robert Frost. Hello, I am Yogita Joshi, your presenter for this session. I work as lecturer in English at Government Senior Secondary Smart School, Pernibaga, District, Mansa. Before starting the lesson, let's have a pre-reading activity. It's a simple and interesting activity for you. You are to enlist a few things in your mind that you see in the picture. What can you see in the picture? Let's try to make a list. Suggested list is a road, you can see here. Then the colors tell us that it is a time of sunset because the clouds are yellowish, just like the after effects of sunset. We can also see trees, and apparently there is darkening of the sky. So it seems to be evening time, bit cloudy, silent, lonely road. This road is important, keep in mind, because it will play an important role in this poem, okay? Let's go through the learning objectives. By the end of this session, you will understand glossary, the poem, and the comprehension questions. Before enjoying the poem, let's know a bit about the poet Robert Frost. He was born in San Francisco, California, USA on March 26, 1874. He lost his father quite early in life and had to live in an alien environment in New Hampshire. Dear students, alien means when we are not familiar to an environment or the environment is not according to our wishes. In 1912, he and his family moved to England, where he published his first book of verse, A Boy's Will. His second collection was North of Boston. In 1915, he returned to the USA and settled on a farm in New Hampshire. In 1961, he was specially invited to recite his patriotic poem, The Gift Outright, when President Kennedy took office. He died in 1963. He was one of the most famous poets of English literature. Dear students, Robert Frost is regarded as a great nature poet. And like Wordsworth, he wrote about nature. But Frost's treatment of nature is more realistic as compared to Wordsworth. His simple, colloquial language appeals to the ordinary readers. Dear students, colloquial means simple language that we use for our daily conversations. But the apparent simplicity of his verse is deceptive. His poems are subtle, complex, and rich. So, even if the language, diction, or the depiction of the subject is simple, it does not mean that his poetry does not have depth. Actually, his poems are deep, complex, and rich. Let's understand the glossary to understand poem in a better way. First word is diverge. It means to separate and go in different directions. Number 2, undergrowth. It means a mass of bushes and plants that grow close and together under trees, in woods and forests. Number 3, trodden. It means the path on which the ground is crushed or pressed with your feet. It means the popular path which is followed by all the people. Let's have a practice of the pronunciation. Pronounce these words with me. Diverge, diverge, undergrowth, undergrowth, trodden, trodden. Very good. Let's move towards the introduction of the poem. Dear students, The Road Not Taken is one of the finest and the most popular lyrics of Robert Frost. It was collected by Frost in the volume of verses entitled Mountain Interval in 1916. It was first published in the August 1915 issue of the Atlantic Monthly. Here the poet tells us that once while traveling alone, he reached a point where the road diverged into two different directions. He was in a quandary as he was not able to decide which road to take. Ultimately, he decides to move ahead on the road. Which road was chosen by him and why was that choice important? Let us find out in the poem. Let's enjoy the complete text of the poem The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. After enjoying the complete recitation, we'll understand it stanza-wise. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two different roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by. I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference, and that has made all the difference. I hope you enjoyed the complete recitation of the poem. Let's discuss the poem stanza-wise. Coming to the first stanza, look at the picture first. You can see two roads diverging towards different directions. Similarly, the poet is in such a situation in first stanza. He says that two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And he was very sorry, he was very sad that he could not travel both, because he was one person and both the roads were going towards the different directions. So at one time he could travel only one. And he was one traveler. So he stood there for a long time and he looked down as far as he could. The poet says that I saw that one path went towards the undergrowth. Then he looked at the other path. He saw that it was fair and it was seeming a better choice because the grass on that road showed that many people have traveled it. It means it is popular. It means it will definitely reach somewhere. Second stanza. Because it was grassy and wanted wear, so the poet feels that the second road is preferable, that is on which there is much grass. It means less number of people have gone through this path. Though as for that passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay. So he said that he had the choice of both the paths, and he was standing there. He was in a fix which path to choose, and both these options, they were equally attractive to him. In leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Here the poet admits that I did not choose the road which was popular. I chose the road which was unpopular, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I knew that if I choose a way, definitely it will connect me to other way. Still, I doubted if I should ever come back. So for some time I was doubtful about my choice. It means I was going to choose something that was not chosen by the other people. So I was in doubt, as said by the poet. So I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Then the poet said that in both the cases, if I reach somewhere or if I don't reach my expected place, in both the cases I will have some experience and some stories to tell people after ages that once there was a time when I was in a dilemma of choosing the right path, and I did not choose the path which was conventional. I made a choice which was unique, different, and which needed a little risk. I took that risk, as said by the poet. Here the poet told that he was ready to take the risk, and he took that road which was less travelled by other people. It means he made a different choice, and that different choice has made all the difference in his life. Dear students, I hope you liked the entire text of the poem. This is a beautiful poem about making choices in life. Often in life, we are always confused in such a situation. This is not the poet's dilemma. This is faced by every one of us in our life. We always have two situations. One is conventional, other is unconventional. And we often get confused. And most of the time, our parents, other family members, friends, they may be indicating towards the conventional choices because they are always safe. But the poet says that to do something different, to create a history, you should be brave enough to make a different choice in life. So, on the basis of this poem, you should always keep this message in your mind that whenever in life you want to make a choice, try to make a unique choice because it will take you to a unique place in your life. But if you make an ordinary choice, then you will have an ordinary life. And you can understand this by reading the lives of great people. I hope you enjoyed the poem. Let's have a post-reading interesting activity. Underline the odd word. The first one is done for you. Number 1. I have a list of words and I will pick out the odd one for you in first. Then for all the other sentences you will do it. Gloomy, ominous, happy, depressing, dismal. Here, gloomy, ominous, depressing, dismal, they all indicate sadness. So the odd word is happy. Now you should guess from 2 to 6 sentences. Number 2. Covert, secret, concealed, hidden, open. Number 3. Grandeur, splendor, tiny, magnificence, opulence. Number 4. Immortal, ugly, eternal, everlasting, unending. Number 5. Brink, edge, threshold, rim, center. Number 6. Mighty, strong, miserable, grand, powerful. Find out the odd words. Shall we check? Here are the right answers. In second, covert, secret, concealed, hidden. They all are the words which tell about something hidden, which is not revealed. And open is the odd word. Next, grandeur, splendor, magnificence, opulence. They always tell about the greatness of thing. And tiny means small, so it is odd word. Number 4, immortal, eternal, everlasting, unending indicate the things which are forever, whereas ugly has no compatibility with all these words. So, odd word is ugly. Number 5, brink, edge, threshold, rim all indicate the side of something, and center is not in line with these words. So, odd word is center. Number 6, mighty, strong, grand and powerful. All these words tell about power or strength. So, miserable, it means sad or unhappy. It is the odd word. Time for central idea of the poem. Now we have completely discussed every stanza and every line of the poem. So you will be able to understand the things that were told by the poem in the form of a simple situation. This poem talks about the significance of making choices in life. Our future depends on the choices that we make today. If we follow the conventional path, we cannot create a history. To do something novel, we have to choose unconventional and new trends. We can create a difference only by making a different choice. If we keep on doing what other people do, we'll end up being ordinary. If we aim to be unique, we need to start making unique choices. The poet convincingly expresses that choice making is the most important aspect of life. Your success or failure depends upon the choices that you make. So the poet advises to make wise and independent choices. Although it may be risky, but to achieve something great, we need to make smart choices. So this poem is all about making choices according to your intention. Choices that go in line with your happiness, or choices according to your intuition. The comprehension questions. Here we have a stanza followed by 4 questions. This is a stanza from this poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it went in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim. Let's see the question answers. First question, name the poet. I'm sure you can answer. The name of the poet is Robert Frost. Number 2. What does the poet see in front of him? Yes, the poet saw two roads diverging in a yellow wood. Number 3. What is the poet sorry about? Very simple. The poet is sorry that he cannot travel both. Number 4. What is the symbolic meaning of two different paths in the woods? Obviously, two different paths symbolize two different options, and the poet is to choose only one. Next stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Here are the question answers. First question, which path did the poet choose to travel? Yes, the poet chose the road which was less travelled by. Question number 2. What does the poet mean by the word difference in the last line? The answer is, here difference means his unique status in life at that moment. It was due to a unique choice that he had made years ago. Question number 3. Is the poet doubtful about his decision? Initially, the poet feels doubtful about his risky choice, but soon he chooses to remain firm on it. The last question is, justify the title of the poem, The Road Not Taken. Dear students, the title is completely justified as it goes in line with the central idea of the poem that we have discussed. It explains the significance of making choices in life. So the title is indicating about this thing. Our future depends upon the choices that we make today. If we follow the conventional path, we cannot create a history. To do something unique, our choices should be unique. It may be risky, but it is important. I hope you enjoyed this most famous and beautiful poem. Your homework is equally beautiful. You are to draw a beautiful scenery showing nature's beauty. You can draw any scenery that you like It can be mountains covered with snow, or it can be a beautiful scenery that you saw during traveling. You can make a picture of the fields or the mountains or so many trees. And we have seen many things in this poem also. Here you can see grass and trees and two roads diverging in a wood, or other things that we have gone through in the poem. See here, variety of trees, flowers, grass, and all that. So use your creativity to do something creative and beautiful to your eyes as well as to your heart. Dear students, it is an initiative taken by School Education Department, Punjab. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a very nice day.